Hey everybody, it's The Shape, and first and foremost, welcome to my second channel. I appreciate you guys as always. And if you're new to who I am, welcome. This is a place where using your brain is urged. And I'm getting into some touchy subject matter. And before I do, before you say, well,
How can I take a dude in a hockey mask seriously?
well, you don't have to. This shouldn't matter. It's my ideas that should matter. Now, this is my second channel. And if you don't believe me, go to my first channel. I debunk on that channel, and a lot of people seem to love my ideas on there. So, if you need a little backup, I've been doing this a couple of years. What I want to talk about, like I said, it's touchy subject matter. And if you guys want me to continue to make more of these, you know what to do, and comment below. Now, I'm sure all of us have heard about the Delphi, Indiana double homicide of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. And it's been 4 years. And the reason people are intrigued by this case is because of pictures, video, and audio. Because it's very seldom that the killer or supposed killer is not only caught on one of the victim's cameras in a video, but they got audio of him. They got a crime scene of him. That's rare. And that's a big reason a lot of people are intrigued. And, I mean, it doesn't make it any less tragic. But what I want to talk about in this video, the points up to when the suspect confronted the girls, when the crime was started to be initiated. That's it. I don't want to get into no crime scenes or anything else, because I know y'all have heard of Gray Hughes Investigates. By the way, that dude's awesome. I'll link him below. And I know y'all have heard of I think his name's Anthony Greeno. True Crime Investigates. I think that's the name of his channel. I'm using his video because he did an excellent job at getting parts that I need to say what I gotta say. He went to the location, so that helps a lot. Now, a channel that inspired me to do multiple videos on this is a channel called The Clutch or Clutch. He's urging people to use their brain and think about it outside the box, and I totally respect that. And he got me thinking. And the more I look into it, I kind of disagree with certain parts of what Gray Hughes says, and I'm going to explain why right now.
February 13th, 2017. Two teen girls were brutally murdered near the historic Monon High Bridge Trail. Their bodies were discovered the next day on private property, about 50 foot from Deer Creek.
The time it takes to walk from the general parking area to the pivotal point is approximately 12 to 15 minutes at leisurely pace. Walking quickly, it can be done in about 10. The possibility that the suspect had prior knowledge of the area is likely. The possibility this man is a drifter, also likely. The suspect canvassed the trail and methodically premeditated a calculated attack. After reviewing the area, the suspect returns to the pivotal point. The suspect deemed this the most pivotal point in his plan of action. From this area, he had a visual on the 501 trail, 505 trail, County Road 300 North, and back towards the parking area.
The pivotal point
is an area the suspect has deemed critical to the crime.
So I think Greeno and Gray Hughes, I think they're pretty much on the same page of how they think it played out up to when the suspect got to the girls. And that's where I've got difference, in my opinion.
When the girls arrive off County Road 300 North, Site C, they arrive at the pivotal point. Many believe that the suspect came in contact with the girls here, or somewhere along the trail.
The deciding point is the moment that the suspect decides who the victims are going to be, whether this is a premeditated attack on certain individuals or an opportunistic crime.
In my opinion, I don't think that this was an opportunistic crime. I think that this was pre-planned, pre-thought out. Every single thing about this crime was already thought out. I think the only part that was not completely thought out was who the victims were. You know what I mean? I think no matter what girl or two girls or three girls come across that bridge, didn't matter who it was. I think it's just wrong place, right time for the suspect.
After the suspect had made contact with the girls, they made their way down the 501 trail, headed towards the bridge. The suspect maintained behind them, but kept his distance, all the way to the bend in the trail.
The vantage point. The location where the suspect has determined that he can see the victims and anyone coming who would catch him committing the crime.
See, I don't believe that. I don't believe that they had previously seen this guy beforehand. And I'm going to state why. Let's start off with this, for instance. Okay, you're walking with your buddy. You're 13, 14 years old. And you come across a shady character. Now, I think Gray Hughes said that he thinks they had some kind of altercation, maybe not a bad one, but a weird one, which would in turn, when they're on the bridge, would make Liberty pull out her cell phone and secretly record him approaching. Let's think about it this way. Now, I'm going to show you a top view of the bridge and everything else as well. And there's a reason for it. All right, if you get a bad feeling about somebody, I mean, I've been a kid. If somebody creeps you out enough to where you're uncomfortable, but not to the point where you're scared, you're just uncomfortable, like, okay, this dude's weird. But as you walk away from him, even though you had that weird interaction with the guy, you're going to be talking about it with your buddy. Kids talk. Okay? Now, let's just keep going here.
And could there be a tantalizing clue in this poignant last photograph taken of 13-year-old Abigail Williams by her best friend? Look, in the distance, some see a shadowy figure. Is that the killer stalking the girl?
In this reenactment, we are depicting that the suspect was actually at the bend in the trail stalking the girls. The shadowy figure that you see here is actually not the suspect. It is an orange barricade. There is one located on each side of the bridge. It determines where railroad property begins.
This is the bridge that we've all seen in the images released to the media. You can see now some flowers left behind in memory of the girls. We do know that the girls were found on this side of the creek, about a quarter of the mile in this direction. So when we're hearing down the hill on that recording, they could have been led in this direction, down this hill.
Actually, the hill is about 853 feet away from where they are talking. They are on the northwest side of the bridge. Down the hill area is on the very southeast side of the bridge. This is the location that the picture was taken of Abby. Liberty was standing on that platform. And if we rotate the camera with Flying Frank's drone 180 degrees, this is the direction that that photo is taken in.
And that is 100% accurate on that part. That's another thing why I don't think they met Bridge Guy yet. Up to that point of taking that photo, I don't think they ever seen Bridge Guy. Now, when they get, let's just say roughly, because I don't want to get exact, because I don't know exact, they're 3/4, let's say almost 3/4 of the way, or at least Liberty. Almost 3/4 across the bridge, and Abby's coming in behind her because she's new to the bridge. But if we got a killer that's way back there around the bend, and he's looking down toward them and looking back the other way, okay, and then he's like, okay, here's my chance, and he starts toward them. All right, why would Liberty wait until she got all the way across the bridge, turn around and wait for him to catch up and get that close to where if she pulls the camera out to record the guy, there's more of a chance he'll see the phone? Why would you not record him further back? I'm just saying. Because you're going to see somebody coming. There's only two ways. That side of the bridge and that side of the bridge. And the trail's a long stretch before they even get to the bridge. So you're gonna see bridge guy coming. If he comes from that direction, you're gonna see him coming for a while. Why would you wait till the last moment and then start recording? I don't think he come from the side of the bridge that everybody thinks he did. I think he was on the other side. And the reason I think that is because if you're a killer and you've got this gigantic wooded area around you, why are you going to be walking up and down a trail to where every Tom, Dick, and Harry can see you? You got all these woods. I think he was on the other side of the bridge, down under a little bit, just watching, waiting for somebody to come across. That way you're not on the trail. You don't have, the risk of being seen. Okay? Now, what would make Liberty record him if he's on that side of the bridge? Think about it. If they're 3/4 of the way across the bridge, he's not coming up behind them. He just walks up from under the bridge on the same side they're on. Okay? And it's not suspicious because they've never met him. They've not had no bad interaction, which would allow him, if he would, start walking across the bridge as they're walking toward him, he's walking toward them, they pass each other, and he's, continuing going across the bridge. But what he's really doing, he's looking down there to make sure, hey, nobody's coming. I don't see nobody coming up around the bend. While they're still going toward the end of the bridge where there's pretty much nowhere to run except the woods. And then he makes a U-turn. And that is what would spark Libby to be like, whoa, why would he do that? And then it makes more sense that way. And plus you're off the trail. To me, it just makes more sense. I mean, bad as I hate to say it, think like a suspect that don't want to get caught. Are you going to be running up and down a trail? If you know the area, which he most certainly more than likely he did, you're going to stay off that trail and you're going to be in the wooded part. You're going to have, for all I know, he could have been over there where the crime scene was and come back that way and then, interacted with them. He could have had everything pre-plotted, come out from under the hill. He's not on the trail. And to me, it just makes more sense when you begin to really paying close attention. I mean, I'm not saying I'm 100% right, or I'm not saying, Gray, Hughes, and all them aren't right. They could be right just as well as I could be. If I'm trying to get away with a crime, I'm going to do it with less risk as I can possibly. I mean, anytime you do a crime, it's risky. But you want to negate the risk the best that you can. I'm not going to be walking up and down trails. It don't make no sense. When there's woods all the way around, a road right out there, you know what I mean? It just don't make no sense. And that's where I'm at on this so far. When I see the guy, to me, I feel like he's either impersonated an officer before, a cop, or could be a cop, could have pretended to be a cop. And the reason I think that, if you want to gain control of somebody, like two kids, and you said you're a cop, then when you tell them where to go, they're more likely to believe, okay, I'm safe, it's a cop. And they're going to listen to what you say. Hey, go down the hill, go over there. Like I said, that's just my opinion on it. Like I said, I'm not saying I'm right. It's just my thoughts on it. But like I said, if the killer was way back there at this pivot point, and he come around the bend while they're taking Snapchat pictures, they're they're going to see him coming a lot further away. And if they'd already had the notion that they had this interaction that didn't feel good to Libby and Abby, she would have recorded way sooner, I'm telling you. But if he done it the way I said it, and come from the other end of the bridge, and walked and then doubled back, it makes more sense. You're off the trail more. You're not on the trail as much. You're on the end of the bridge, then back off the trail. So you're negating risk. And I think a big part of it is negating risk.
Because the suspect is not seen in the photograph of Abby, we can assume that he was at the bend in the trail. That is approximately a 5-minute walk behind them. This is the suspect's line of sight.
Now the line of sight would be how much Libby could see this guy coming toward her before she turned her camera on. That's a pretty long distance for her to wait last minute.
Now let's take a look at the condition of the bridge. On some of these photographs, it looks like a straight platform. It is impossible to run on this bridge. Everyone who walks on this bridge must look down while doing so, or you will fall and hurt yourself severely.
See, all that distance back there, she would have had time to look over her shoulder just once. And when you're on a bridge, you're looking back and forth to be careful anyways. Look how far back. To me, this is a good spot for him to sit and wait and somebody to come on that end of the bridge where he can come up there and do whatever he wanted to do. Now, when I see this suspect, and this is the supposed suspect, I see what looks to me, well, it's a blue coat. And to a kid, if you said you was a cop and you had a blue coat, that would probably be enough to fool, a 13 or 14-year-old girl. And when I look at this thing around his neck, I see a tactical face mask. That's what I see, or a face mask in general, much like the face mask you're looking at right here.
And guys, on this second channel, I'm going to do a lot more variety. On my other channel, I debunk paranormal and stuff like that. On this, I'm just doing a variety of topics that I enjoy doing. I'm going to work extra hard on this channel as well. So if you're, like I said, on my other channel, you might want to sub here and get more shaped content. I don't know what I'm going to name this channel yet, but I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.